You are fishers. Okay, that's all everyone. Thank you for watching this episode. Have a nice day. Let's start over. You are fishers, once living in coastal settlements that make their living by fishing from the depths with hot air balloons, clinging to the cliffs that overlook the great dark sea. Every time the balloons go out, families sit at the windowsill, finding comfort in the knowledge that, even if their loved ones are lost to the waves, the unknowable gods below will save their souls. You learn to fly out above this awful sea, where losing a thermal or being cast adrift could mean certain death. Fishers are one of the more supernatural playbook, more closely connected to one of the people, the fisher folk, who have gills on their neck, sharp teeth, gray skin, and claim these adaptations to be the result of their ancestors interbreeding with creatures from the dark sea, which is also where their gods reside in, and are in fact very real. These gods, I call them Big Deep. Big Deep is actually very kind and benevolent and always cheer the human on whatever they are doing. The problem is when they say go you can do it, it sounds more like. Understandably, most people don't like that, but fisher folk can actually hear properly, some of them at least. There are freshwater fisher folk who have lost their route, but they can regain it if they find it out. Anyway, other than having a bunch of supernatural powers, fishers are centered around trust in their comrades, in their lovers, in fate, and most of all, in their gods. They are very fatalistic, content to go with the flow even unto death. After all, they know where they will be heading afterward, they know it'll be alright. You can see this by the fact that fishers have high comm stat in every single one of their stat blocks, which makes connecting with people and calming people down very easy, almost like you are inducting them into a cult, but also not exactly. It also makes the fishers better at recovering from turbulence or bailing and crashing, meaning it won't hurt them as much in flying unstable aircrafts in a more dangerous manner, which funny enough none of their starter planes are. On a more meta level, the fishers are the queer reclamation of the monstrous. It is common to code a character or group as untrustworthy or villainous by associating them with queerness or sexual deviancy, so one way some queer people fight back is to proudly identify with the monsters. You can know more about this by checking out this video from Overly Sarcastic Productions. Check them out, they are way better than I am at this topic. Fishers are, of course, a direct reference to the shadow over Innsmouth, and they basically subvert the expectation by going okay, who the hell care if they are gilled gray-skinned people with blood of the monstrous mixed within them that they all worship in a cult. There are worse religions to debase yourself anyway, like capitalism. Of course, the playbook does play around with cults, blood, and sacrifice, if that's not obvious enough at this point. If you are uncomfortable with it, you can just change it or leave them out of the game. The point is that none of it makes them villainous, just different, or queer if you will. Anyway, let's get on grooving with the moves. The fisher's central move is creepy, because, well, fishers are a bit creepy. Basically, when inlanders and apostates see your religious practices or confronted by your alienness, they immediately freak the fuck out and suffer sand loss. So, don't do fisher things publicly. However, if you teach other PC fisher moves, they gain an understanding of your culture and won't get creeped out by it anymore, and considering how easy it is for fisher to have move exchange with others, it's recommended. Fisher's intimacy move is suggestion. Essentially, you can induce a trance state on your confidant, giving bonus to one stat and penalty to another. Doing it in air just gives a bonus, but even bigger, until the leader gives a signal or word to end it. Essentially, you get to make one stat even better than before, and this is in fact one of the only way to raise a stat higher than 5 and beyond, and that gets ridiculous with a 2d10 roll. Also yes, this is literally a consensual erotic hypnosis. I did say this book is kinda horny. As for the personal moves, Fisher starts with 3 of the following moves. Whispered Answers is a move where when you sleep, you can ask your patron god some questions, and get bonus when acting based on that information. This move essentially shows the passive connection fisher folk have with their gods, who actually answer back quite frequently. Just, don't do it every time you go to sleep, just do it every routine to not annoy the hell out of your game master. Deep Ones just gives you +1 to your next roll when you call out to your god. This is very good, but if you fail the roll, you get stress, and it's also a good opportunity for GM to pull out some supernatural hard moves. Soulbound is a move where if you draw Blood Rune on your plane, you gain handling equal to twice your comm. That makes your plane a lot more agile, considering how many comm stat a fisher usually has, but you get hurt if the plane get hurt, and that's bad. Idiomotor Response, your plane is now literally possessed, This functions as a supernatural autopilot, and GM is recommended to give this autopilot some more supernatural capability, like taking over an unconscious pilot or move with a spoken command. Written in ink, you can now get a tattoo to mark a milestone. You get 3 stress for doing so, but each time you use a Fisher move related to the tattoo, you clear 1 stress, once per routine. This move basically makes your character pick a signature move that's important to them, and also let them clear stress very easily. Blessing is a move where you can dab blood on item to enchant them for 1 routine, whether it's making them better at what they do, or make them tougher. However, if you fail the comm roll, you need to make a bigger sacrifice or the item is damaged. Whatever bigger sacrifice means is up to the game master, but it should be something that's personal and triggers creepy among their comrades and the townsfolk. That sounds bad, but then again, having armor 3 for just a splash of blood sounds like a pretty good deal if you ask me. Lash to the mash is a move where if you tied yourself to your aircraft, you get to ignore incoming injury or reroll any more twice, but if you bail out or crash, start making your afterlife plan. And finally, Gifts from the Abyss is a passive move where your connection to the Deep One is physically changing you. Whatever it is, it's difficult to hide, and inlanders that see it will trigger creepy. However, all, and I do mean all, of your XP advances now cost 1 XP less. That's a big cost saving, and your Fisher character is going to advance a lot quicker now. Well, that's all on the moves. As for the planes, the Fisher has quite a few decent selections of seaplanes that can land on open water surface, just don't ask them to land on ocean. Anyway, you could get a new Koenigswerke S1, a durable scout that might be a bit too sluggish, a used Koenigswerke S4, high-speed energy fighter that's rather underarmed, a new Ritter model DC-4, a nimble scout that's also underarmed, and a used Tiger Mao 13SJ, a very tough fighter bomber that can definitely survive its bombing run. Or you can get a seaplane worth up to 20 thaler, and with a little convincing to GM and modification, any plane can be a seaplane. By the way, this seaplane can be both used with half price, and new flawless one, as long as it's not mentioned, you can do whatever you want. So, that's all on the Fisher, a playbook themed around the grey-skinned fatalistic Fisher folk with connection to their gods who are very real. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.